I don't know. They cheated on a commercial. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, and they said he didn't. And I guess it was AI or something. They cheated badly. Canada got caught cheating on a commercial. Can you believe it?
One of the problems with having an 80-year-old, demented, memory, cognition suffering president is the fact that he cannot accurately determine what is reality and what is not. We've seen him share AI-created videos of himself saying things that he did not say, which should just naturally lead you to the question, can he not discern between what is real and what is fake? When he sees video of him that's AI generated, that is fake, when he sees it and shares it, does he just not, does it look so real to him that he thinks, oh, I must not remember saying that, but this is real. The medbed thing, the alien technology thing, all of this is a problem, right? All of it is a problem. So when the Canadian government, the Ontario government, the provincial government, led by Doug Ford, when they created this commercial using audio of Ronald Reagan from a speech that actually took place. It was a radio address on April 25th, 1987. Here is a thumbnail from the video from the Reagan Library, the Reagan Library Foundation. The entire 5-minute speech I will link below. You can watch the entire thing. They included sections of Reagan's audio into this commercial combating the tariffs against them, the destruction of both the American and the Canadian economy. Maybe not destruction, maybe that's a little harsh, but certainly the degradation. Certainly it's a problem globally right now with Donald Trump's whims about tariffs, thinking that he's charging the country. He doesn't even understand how tariffs work. The basic levels of college freshman economics classes, of high school freshman economics classes, he doesn't understand. I guess that's what happens when you're born with a silver spoon stuck into whatever orifice it is crammed into, and you just don't come to any understanding of how the world works. But I'm going to play this 1-minute ad that was played during the World Series. It incensed Donald Trump. He's now cutting off negotiations with Canada. And then I got a clip of Donald Trump who's just claiming that it was AI or something, he says. He says that they cheated on a commercial. I don't even know what that means. But here's the commercial in question. I wanted to give you the context, and then we'll roll through this.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
So that's the ad that uses actual footage, actual audio from Ronald Reagan, right? Here's Donald Trump, though, claiming that it's AI or something and that Canada cheated on a commercial, and this is why he cut off negotiations.
I don't know. They cheated on a commercial. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, and they said he didn't. And I guess it was AI or something. They cheated badly. Canada got caught cheating on a commercial. Can you believe it?
And look, it's not just a YouTube video from the Reagan Library. I have the actual transcript. There are several screenshots of transcripts from this very address. Again, President Reagan's radio address on free and fair trade on April 25th, 1987. This is from the National Archives, which runs the different presidential libraries. This is something that took place. It is not AI. It wasn't created. It's not cheating on a commercial. And Donald Trump is so obsessed with it, he took to Truth Social, where he, in a grandpa-like, absolutely unhinged and detached from reality post, said this: Canada was caught red-handed putting up a fraudulent advertisement on Ronald Reagan's speech on tariffs. The Reagan Foundation said that they, quote, created an ad campaign using selective audio and video of President Ronald Reagan. The ad misrepresents the presidential radio address and did not seek nor receive permission to use and edit the remarks. First of all, I'll stop myself right there. They don't need permission. It's in the public domain. It's absolutely fair use to use that. The Reagan Library does not have copyright, does not hold copyright of a president's remarks that were made publicly using the resources of the United States government. They don't need permission. They don't need to obtain some copyright exception. It's absolutely in the public domain. He was President of the United States of America. It's public. The Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute is reviewing its legal options in this matter. The sole purpose of this fraud was Canada's hope that the United States Supreme Court will come to their quote-unquote rescue on tariffs that they have used for years to hurt the United States. Now the United States is able to defend itself against high and overbearing Canadian tariffs, and those from the rest of the world as well, he says parenthetically, world capitalized for some reason. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs for purposes of national security and the economy, but Canada said he didn't. Their advertisement must be taken down immediately, he says in all caps, but they let it run last night during the World Series, knowing that it was a fraud because of their serious misrepresentation of the facts and hostile act, a television commercial containing the words of a former president of the United States, is a hostile act to Donald Trump. This is an escalation of language from Donald Trump. I am increasing the tariff on Canada by 10% over and above what they are paying now. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, I'll leave you with this. I'll come back after the clip. We'll talk about it a little bit, but here are the sections with video of Ronald Reagan that weren't even included in the Canadian commercial. This was from the radio address, which Reagan used to do on an almost weekly basis. This was recorded at Camp David in Maryland of Ronald Reagan talking into a microphone. Not AI, on YouTube. This is what they used.
Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Now, there are sound historical reasons for this. For those of us who lived through the Great Depression, the memory of the suffering it caused is deep and searing. And today, many economic analysts and historians argue that high tariff legislation passed back in that period, called the Smoot-Hawley Tariff, greatly deepened the Depression and prevented economic recovery. You see, at first, when someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. What eventually occurs is, first, homegrown industries start relying on government protection in the form of high tariffs. They stop competing and stop making the innovative management and technological changes they need to succeed in world markets. And then, while all this is going on, something even worse occurs. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. So soon, because of the prices made artificially high by tariffs that subsidize inefficiency and poor management, people stop buying. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this occurring back in the 30s made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity. Now, it hasn't always been easy. There are those in the Congress, just as there were back in the 30s, who want to go for the quick political advantage, who risk America's prosperity for the sake of a short-term appeal to some special interest group, who forget that more than 5 million American jobs are directly tied to the foreign export business, and additional millions are tied to imports. Well, I've never forgotten those jobs, and on trade issues, by and large, we've done well.
And again, this is one of the problems we face when you have someone who is in cognitive decline, someone who is detached from reality, at the very least doesn't respect the reality that the rest of us share, trying to make claims, lying. This is something the press isn't calling what it is. They're saying, oh, he's misunderstanding, he's misrepresenting what took place. He's lying about it. It's either one of two things. He's either lying about this being AI or being cheating or misrepresenting the views of Ronald Reagan by just using Ronald Reagan's words, or he really does believe it's AI. Both are a serious issue. Both put us in grave danger having someone who is this stupid and this dishonest as President of the United States. And I say that with the full understanding that we have had some malevolent characters as president, some psychopaths, some sociopathic individuals as President of the United States, people who owned other human beings as property. Donald Trump is among the worst. Anyway, I'd love your opinion on this. Let's have a conversation in the comments below the video, wherever you're watching it, Facebook or YouTube. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Please consider becoming a supporter of this work. Independent media, very important now. Maybe more important, I mean, everybody says that, more important now than ever. But really, when you've got all these major corporate networks in the tank for Donald Trump, running interference for Donald Trump, it is the work that I do and my colleagues in this space, in this genre, it's very important. So please, if you decide to do it, $2 a month is all it takes. You can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. And you can also do it right on YouTube by clicking the join button below the video, or just right on my channel to become a channel member for $2 a month. I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine and take care of one another.